So hello everyone and welcome back to the 1 Point Safety Show. A bit delayed this week, so apologies for not getting a pod out last Thursday prior to the Bears game. A few technical issues from my end really, and at-home issues going on, to be fair. So apologies that I wasn't available, but we're here now. So I'm here and joined by my glorious co-host who's off a 10-day stretch with no podcasts. It is Scouse Andy. How are you, mate? You okay?
I'm good, man. I'm all rested now. It's time to get back in, you know.
I know I couldn't let you down this week, that's for sure. You know what I mean? We've got to make sure we're doing it properly. And nearly up to that 50 mark, so all good.
We're getting there, man.
We are indeed. So a bit of a tumultuous week this week for the Commanders, but we'll get into that a little bit down the line. I mean, I've got some news first, so we'll start with the team transactions. So safeties Jeremy Reeves, who has a partial tear in his ACL, and Derek Forrest, who has a fractured shoulder, have both gone to IR. And if in the corresponding moves, we've signed to the active 53-man roster linebacker Dijon Scooter Harris and signed safety Terrell Burgess, who was drafted by the LA Rams with pick 104 in the 2020 draft. And it was the third round. He's also got a Super Bowl ring, and he's also played for the New York Giants. So he's bounced around a couple of teams, practice squads. I believe he was with us as a camp body as well this year, who we binned off. Teams also made some adjustments to the practice squad. They've signed safeties Joshua Kalua, who was a camp body with us as well, and I think he used to play for the Giants. Sean Chandler, who's an ex-undrafted free agent with the Giants. Carolina Panthers, surprise, surprise, and spent training camp with the Arizona Cardinals. He was released on final roster cuts. We've also re-signed to the practice squad defensive end Joshua Pryor.
All those names just fill me with loads of confidence going forward. You know, absolutely loving these quality players we brought back in. You know, what the hell did Forrest do? Was he just like broke his shoulder? What? Falling off the bench or something? Like, what was his game?
I don't know how he's done it, obviously, but yeah, he's broke his shoulder. So,
and then you've got obviously, upsetting that we lost the ACL guy. You know, all pro Revo. You know, so that's a killer because that one you see. This is where it gets a bit weird for him because being that a partial tear, you always think, oh, well, that's better than a full ACL tear. Now, the problem is that they don't repair partial ACLs. So what happens is that he's going to be on IR for 4 weeks, whatever it is. He's going to be rehabbing the knee. He's going to get it stronger than ever. Hopefully, great control. I mean, like muscular-wise, working and making the joints as solid as possible. You know, really, really solid. And then what they're going to do, they're going to bring him back in and make him play on it and just say, yeah, it's all good. And what they're going to do is actually going to make him play on it until he actually snaps it. Yeah, and then when he snaps it, then they'll repair it.
Yeah, well, me and you both know. I mean, I've been through that surgery, and that's your profession. So you and me both know it's either patella tendon or it's a hamstring. You know what I mean? Graft that you get, isn't it? Generally,
yeah. So normally the first one's hamstring graft if it's your very first one. It's only when you get your second ACLs, which some people have had. They go for the patella tendon graft. But as I say, it's the thing that there's the thought of. No, Revo, it's fine. You can play on it. And then he'll just snap it in the game.
Partials, or you'll snap it. You don't do anything with them. That's the point.
Yeah, you don't do anything with them. So what you do, you wait until he snaps it fully, and then you actually repair it. Because that's not going to heal itself, you see, fully. I mean, you say 18 months, but you're not going to put the guy and not move his knee for 18 months so it heals fully. What you're going to do, you're going to get him working on the strength, work on everything else, and then you're going to get him to play on it. And then it's going to go. Maybe in the first game, but it'll go. And it'll go like probably, might even on a slight twist. It'll just go. And then that's it. It'll be out for like 9 months, get it fully repaired.
It's that plyometric stuff, isn't it, that you've got to do.
Stuck in limbo with that now. You know what I mean? It's not like he's fully torn it, so you're going to go for surgery. It's like, no, he's going to be IR 4 weeks. Probably retrain on it. You might even injure it fully at that point. If he during rehab, if he doesn't, then you probably play a couple of games and it'll go, and then you have to start, all over again. You know, it's shit that really for him.
Yeah, I listened to Ron's press conference about this, and he was saying that basically they're not sure whether they're going to shut him down for the whole year. Which, if they do, I don't know.
Doesn't make sense though, does it? Because I just mentioned there, if you leave him off for the whole season, then that's only 3 months off. Mm-hmm. He'll snap it. He's going to snap it anyway. So it might as well just make him play on it after a few weeks, a month. You know what I mean? You might as well. because
Be interesting.
that's how they work it over here in England. I don't know in the States, because they just don't repair partials. And if you're, especially even if you're an athlete like these guys are, like high level athletes, they'll say, yeah, we'll rehab you, we'll get you, prehab as they call it. So they'll rehab you as best they can, and then get you back out there and see how you manage. Now and again, but with the sport he does, the position he plays, it'll go in probably first or second game back.
So with them going to IR, Percy Butler and Quan Martin are obviously expected to step up. They're the players that they're looking to fill this void. We've actually had a question on this from Kyle from the Burgundy Zone. So thanks, Podfather. What are your expectations then for Quan Martin in his debut? Is it just going to be special teams, or do you think you'll actually see playing time, and how much, if so?
I think he's going to have to play most of the game, to be honest. We've lost. I say we just lost two starters, really.
Yeah, I mean, would you have him over Percy Butler?
Yeah, but Butler got burned. He was burned toast against the Bears. I mean, so I'd rather give Quan Martin a real shot and get him playing at the Buffalo nickel and just keep him there and just see how he goes. I understand, there's going to be the odd bit, come out, stuff like that, rotational, fresh, keep him fresh. But I reckon you play about 80% of the snaps.
Quite interesting, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I was thinking the other way around. I was thinking probably Quan would maybe fill the special teams role, and then in and out on rotations. We don't know. That's the thing. We don't know. He has been playing on special teams, hasn't he?
Percy Butler's a stud on special teams.
He is.
So you better go the other way around. You better go let Butler stay on special teams and have Quan playing properly, like full game.
We'll have to wait and see on what happens.
Yeah, man, it's going to be interesting. Right?
This secondary and this defense as a whole, I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit later on. Yeah. So the team also opened up the 21-day practice window for our boy, or my boy, F.A. Obada. The team has now got 21 days to either activate him to the 53, or they shut him down for the entire season. So again, from Ron's press conference today, they said he's doing the right things. He's in the meeting rooms. He's taking it slowly. But I do think they'll find a space for him on the 53 somewhere along the line. Maybe one of these who's just been called up. Scooter Harris or...
Yeah, man, I think, he practiced fully, didn't he? I think it was the first time this week, wasn't it? Like yesterday or the day before, something like that. So obviously he's close to a return. So, he'll probably be back next week.
So another bit of news here then is Jonathan Allen set a franchise record for sacks as a DT. So obviously, well done to him. It's a big accolade to have, being a DT and having that many sacks. So well done to Jonathan Allen. And then the last bit was obviously, we need to talk about this a little bit more, is the press conferences that have just happened today. I mean, Ron's press conference there, I'm not sure if you saw it, Scouse, but he was saying he's not concerned about being on a 3-game losing streak. They've prepared well this week. They're looking at it one game at a time. They're approaching just Atlanta. They're not looking ahead of themselves. And it's a case of go out and do your job. And that was the message. And that's why the sign has been put up outside the locker room door saying, do your job. I mean, where do you go? What are your thoughts? And
what is he actually doing? I thought this guy was a proper coach. I thought he was a player's coach. That's why everyone respects him. Everyone loves the guy. Well, if that's how? It's because he doesn't speak to his players. He doesn't bollock them. Is that what it is? Is that why they love him? Because at the end of the day, these guys are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, man. And Ron is obviously, being the head coach, most of the responsibility lies on him, unfortunately. Even if half of it isn't his fault, it still actually is on him. So I don't get it, man. I really don't get what Ron's doing at the moment. He should have went in there at half-time against the Bears and absolutely destroyed them. No, I let them talk it out between each other. Hey? What were you paying you $8 million a year for, bro? Do you know what I mean? Like, your job is to go in there and fucking sort that shit out. So I'm really, really pissed off with Ron recently, I tell you. I think you mentioned it before. He might have down tools. Ron.
Yeah, I saw. He's not a good media outlet, but I did see a clip from obviously Pat McAfee, and he was saying he thinks that Ron Rivera's checked out. And honestly, I don't disagree with that.
I don't disagree from what I've seen over the last few weeks. You know what I mean? Like, really, I think he probably knows that he's done. Since that Bears game, he knows he's gone, he's done now, and that's it. So I might as well just fuck around type of thing.
So, I mean, we'll get into it then. I mean, we'll review the Bears game.
Don't forget Del Rio. Don't forget
Del Rio. Okay, let's not forget Del Rio.
Oh, yeah, don't forget Del Rio.
I mean, honestly, this just baffled my head. I mean, there's a clip out there. I think it was Matt Paris who was asking the question from the media carousel or at Del Rio's press conference today. And he basically said, look, Cody Barton hasn't played well. What are your thoughts on trying to, make him better? I'm paraphrasing here. And Del Rio was like, why? Who's saying this? And he was like, well, not just the press, but, the whole world is saying this, that Cody Barton's supposed to be rubbish, for want of a better term. And he basically said, yeah, I'm happy with him. He's training well. I'm happy with his contribution. And I was like, what?
Hey, this is the guy who gets blown over. I mean, did you see during the game he got moved about 15 yards? Did you see that one?
Yeah, by the running back.
What's that about? I mean, you're there to stop that shit, not get blown out like that. I mean, honest to God, I mean, I've got a friend who's a Seattle fan, and he laughed at me when we signed him. He laughed at me and said, mate, this guy is fucking shite. He is awful. He is god awful. And he is. And I mean, it's been proven right. This guy, he played one season, like fully last season, and he had good stats for tackling, just like he has for us. He has got, you look at his tackles, he's got a lot of tackles. The problem is that he's not creating any real game-changing tackles. Do you know what I mean? He's just kind of gegging in at the end. It's not good enough, man. The guy is awful. He should not be in the team. Now, I understand from a coach's perspective, you might say, well, I can't rip this guy in front of the media. But he could say nothing like that, something ridiculous like that. That's, I'm pleased with him. He prepares well. Does he prepare well? Does he? The whole team doesn't prepare well, and that's down to him on the defensive side, man. So I wanted Del Rio gone. As soon as that game finished against on Thursday, I wanted Del Boy gone, and he's still there, and I'm well pissed off that he's still there.
So am I, and I mean,
nothing's changed. Is the demeanor still the same? It's like, mate, what's going on here? Like, do you want to keep your job? Do you want to earn some money, like, or are you just fucking around?
So as we just got back to there with Ron, do you think that this is a collective? We're all checked out. We all know it's not going to happen, that we're gone, and that maybe behind the scenes, Harris or somebody said something. I mean, honestly, I don't think Josh Harris is the sort of guy who pays $6 billion for a franchise and doesn't have somebody out there talent evaluating this roster, evaluating every single job. The people there. I said it on the bunker on Friday. Everyone from the tea lady to the GM. What do you do? Tell me what you do. Evaluate it. Tell me what you're worth. Show me what you're about. Otherwise, you're out the door. It's as simple as that. I mean, this is going to be Josh Harris's off season. I am not going to be surprised if we see a brand new head coach and we see a brand new GM. I think they will stick.
Oh yeah, I can see top to bottom at the moment. I really can.
Yeah, so do I. I mean, the Martys, what are they producing? And this is other questions that we've probably got to get into.
Well, if you look at the draft, that's what I'm saying. Just
the draft itself, yeah.
I mean, all of them have stunk. Let's face it, all of them have been bad or not played.
Yeah,
that's even worse.
We can't say that Ricky Stromberg's bad because we know he's a very
the only
good
one you can probably say,
he's not playing.
That's what I'm saying. So how bad's the draft then? If you're the GM and you pick 7 guys. And one, started off okay, but then got burnt toast big time the last 2 games. And he ruined his confidence. He's been benched, stuff like that. That's not good when that's your number 1 pick. And then you've got second rounder Quan. Okay, he'd been injured a bit and he played like dung when he did play. Okay. Again, it could be another bad one, or he's just acclimating. You don't know about that. Joey's still out a little bit on him. Then you've got Stromberg, as you know, which, to be fair, Nick Gates is not a centre, and I've told people this before. He's not a centre. He's absolute crap. He's not that good. I like his nasty, but he's just not that good at blocking.
His snaps are actually all right, but he's got no blocking at all. And when he fell over like a weeble, I was just like, "What are you doing?"
When he snapped it and fell over face first. That was more like Albert Hainsworth type shit.
He got absolutely smoked as well by there.
What is this? I mean, this is meant to be a nasty guy, a big dude, and he's massive. We've seen him. We stood virtually next to him on the field in week 1.
Yeah,
that's massive. Yeah. But how awful is he? It's so bad. Stromberg should be starting. It's as simple as that.
How many sacks is it now? Is it 4 or 5 that he's given up now?
Yeah, I think he's given 5 up over the last 3 games. Yeah, over the last 4 games.
It's
awful, man. Really, that's just him.
It's becoming a real struggle. And this draft now, when you look back at it and you say to yourself, "Well, hold on, we took Emmanuel Forbes, who, you're expecting a ball.
He's been burned.
But he's been burnt, and he's burnt, and his confidence is shot to bits. And whether that's down to coaching, whether that's down to playing him out of position. I mean, one thing you can't say with Emmanuel Forbes here is you can't ask for a ball hawk and someone who's going to go for the ball. That's what he's designed in his ethos and his whole being. He is going for that ball, whether you like it or not. You're gonna give up big plays at times because that's the sort of player he is. So you have to say to yourself, we're drafting that guy. We need to make sure we counter that by putting a safety help over the top. Or I'm not.
It's common sense, isn't it? It's common sense.
Of course it does. And I'm not an X's and O's guy. I'm not an X's and O's guys, and I can see that. Do you know what I mean? And you know what I mean?
It's just Del Rio, who doesn't do it, and he plays. And I've mentioned this, ages and ages ago. Derek Forrest is not a true free safety. He really isn't, and he got burned many times. So, now he's out. So fair enough. At least he's out the game now for a bit.
It's really disappointing because safety. It's really disappointing because I'll be honest with you, he's one of the better performers last season. He was great.
Yeah, he was decent. Yeah, he was good. I mean, but again, he was playing out of position.
Mm-hmm.
I said he's like Cam Curl. He likes playing strong. He's not a free safety. So, I mean, obviously he's not going to get in ahead of Cam Curl. When they're both fit. So, but you kind of put him in this square peg round hole, hope that it works, and it did okay against worse quarterbacks, against worse teams. What we had last season. And we said from the start of this season, we've got high quality quarterbacks this year and better teams. And look what's happened. The team's gone right. It's dropped by not by a couple of percent. We're talking like probably 25%. It's probably dropped by, and again, it's so frustrating. But you can see it happen. And Del Rio's not changed anything about it. He's not changed the scheme up. He doesn't blitz anybody. He's so weak. It's all fucking this cross zone shit, whatever it's called.
He's playing more zone than he is man, and then it's like, it's
like I can't remember what it's called now, but it's like a zone match scheme or something like that. It's fucking shite, mate. Honestly, it's like, mate, nobody else plays that system. No one. Yeah. So why are you playing it? Why have you got the worst? Why have you got the worst linebackers in the league? Why have you got that when you've got supposedly the 85 Bears main linebacker alongside Singletary? You know what I mean? Like, wait a minute. Why can these guys not actually pick and select a decent linebacker? I just don't get it, mate.
That is something unknown. I mean, we've got a question. We've got a question from Rod Morrison, and we'll come back to that in a minute. I mean, he says Holcomb is missing from our roster. I mean, when you're missing mid, what's going on? Because I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Cole Holcomb is not a world beater, but he's doing okay.
He's mid at best. That's what he is.
But he's doing okay for the Steelers. I'll give him his due.
I mean, I seen him get smoked.
But he got absolutely smoked last week. The week before, he had a really good game.
Yeah, he had a good game the week before.
That was the point with Cole Holcomb. He was a one-off, a good game, a bad game.
Up and down. He was inconsistent.
Yeah, massively.
Just like everybody else in our defense. And that's the thing. You see, we've brought up our players to actually be inconsistent and mid at best.
But when you're missing him, and you're like,
good.
This is wild. I mean, honestly, this draft and this roster, I mean, especially this draft, it does not look good at all.
It's pants. I mean, even if we go through explanations, we just go. We mentioned Butler, not Butler. Sorry, Forbes. Sorry, we mentioned Forbes. Yeah, okay, we know about him.
Go on, Martin. Not even played the snap yet.
He hasn't done much. You don't know. But let's hope he's a new guy when he comes back next week.
Yeah.
Stromberg on the bench. Yep. Fourth guy on a fake IR. Fake
IR, because he was that bad.
Braden Daniels, because he was that bad and he was not good enough to get on the team. Then it was
fifth round pick, KJ Henry. Was KJ always Henry. Inactive. Always.
He's always inactive. He's available, but no, he's not playing. The sixth, Chris Rodriguez. Has started been in the game, but now he's been ill for the last 2 weeks or something.
Yeah, I mean, what's it?
Illness.
I mean, what's this guy got? Mono, COVID?
No one's mentioned what it is. He's just like, he's ill. All right, okay. And then the seventh rounder, he's just
Andre Jones
fighting. He's just fighting for his life, just trying to keep in the game. That is an awful draft already. Now I know hopefully these guys will produce like 2 years down the line. But the thing is that you need to win now, especially these coaches. This is why I don't understand why we didn't go out there and spend either some big dollar in free agency or get some real game changers. From the rookie class. Instead, you've got true potential, like literally potential. That might take 3 years to make good, So,
but do you think this is down to the fact that either players, because he was obviously, we're not going to even mention his name, the previous owner, because the previous owner was here? Do you think that players didn't want to play for the franchise, or were like, actually, I'm not going to go there because it's a basket case? So in free agency, that's difficult to get. You're not always paying the best money. You haven't got a massive salary cap because you've overpaid on older players, people like Landon Collins, people like William Jackson, who you've paid out lots and lots of money out, and then you've still got dead cap for them. I mean, let's look at it and let's say to ourselves, tell me and show me a draft where you have hit and it's actually gone an A or a B. Because for me, the last one was Kyle. I can't remember Kyle's surname. Went to the Falcons. Kyle Smith. Mm-hmm. He was the last decent draft analyst or draft guy who picked for us and said player personnel, whatever his role was. He was the last guy who came in and said, "Yeah, that is a team." Picking Terry, them sort of.
And that was the first season, Ron, wasn't it? And Ron got rid of him.
No, well, he did, when Ron came in. Mm-hmm. But none of these first rounders, apart from Chase Young, has Ron picked. You know what I mean? And let's look at his first round picks. Jamin Davis, year what we in 3, 4?
Yeah, and he's nowhere near. He's nowhere near what he should be at year
Cody
3.
Barton's showing him where to stand. What is going on? And then when he does have a play. When he does have a play and he plays a good game, he's in and out every time on third down. Why?
Yeah, I don't get that, I mean, on third down,
every time.
Watch it.
You're
going to be throwing the ball. This guy should be actually attacking the quarterback. He should be like the Micah Parsons.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what he should be.
Yeah.
Exactly again, this is coaching. This is coaching. And this has been the problem for such a long time. Like, even morons like me can say, wait there a minute. Why aren't you using this guy's skill set? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't get it, man.
Correct. He's fast. He's
athletic.
Tackler.
He's strong. He's perfect. When he has blitzed, he's been really like.
Yeah, he has. Absolutely.
You just don't blitz anyone ever. Like this season, we've not done it hardly at all. It's ridiculous, man. And again, this week, Del Rio needed to go. He needed to go.
Who was the pick before that? Chase. Jury's still out. No offense. He's had a really good game. He's probably the only one who's come out of the. Yeah, it's not. But he was the only person who could come out of a bit of credit from that Bears game and say, you know what, you still did well. And actually, at the moment, you can look on the side of a milk carton and it's got a face of Montez Sweat because he's missing. He had one good game against the Cardinals, and then he's had a game. He's had a bit of a game where he's done okay against a quite terrible Broncos side, and then you think to yourself, where is he? Where has he gone to? He's disappeared again. If there's anyone who's going to get that back and he's looking for that money, it's Chase Young right now. If you're going to pay any of them, he's the one who you're going to pay right now. And I didn't expect that to happen. I expected them to say, do you know what? Yeah, it's Montez Sweat. Because I still think they're concerned with the injury that he's got or has had. I still think they like Sweat more than they like Chase for whatever reason. But then let's move a bit forward. I mean, Dotson, you could say, argue, great. That is an absolute steal. We've done well in the first round with Dotson. Samuel Cosme, a good piece.
Well, he was absolutely. Second rounder, wasn't he, Cosme?
But when you're looking at drafts and you're looking at that, you're always going to hit on some people. Yeah, Cam Curl, absolutely. But that was a
Cal Smith pick.
Correct, yeah.
That was his last
draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you're right.
So again, picking these late round gems have not been Ron and the Martys. It was,
or even first rounders, second rounders. Fidarian Mathis, where are you?
He's been injured. He's been injured all the time. This is the problem, you see. We're either getting guys who can't actually play because they're always injured, or not good enough to be playing. I mean, look what happened to Quan Martin's question about Ron for last week. How come Quan's not getting any game time? Well, look at the players in front of him. Who? The fucking absolute garbage. I mean, I don't understand how you can't get in.
And this is what you're saying: your second rounder, your third rounder, your first rounder, probably even your fourth. You want your fourth to contribute. You definitely want your third rounder to contribute.
Yeah, if you've drafted well, you should get 4 quality starters out of a 7-round pick.
Your first and second, you're all automatically starting. They are your starters, and you think to yourself,
they should be.
Well, exactly, they should be. But
unless you've got an unbelievable squad, and you just pick for what you like. For example, the Eagles did that with Cam Jurgens. Remember that a couple of years back? We did with Jason Kelsey. He might retire, might not. Now he's playing right guard now, I think, at the moment. Jurgens doing okay, doing a good job. But that was a luxury pick for them. He was a second rounder, but not many teams can do that. We the bed, man. That's what we've done.
This is the point with this 4-year tenure of Ron at the moment is they seem to just negate and neglect certain areas of this team, and they don't have any idea what they're actually doing. And do you know what the biggest miss is for me? The biggest miss is Coach Harris, who went to Tennessee. Because if he was in the building right now behind Jack Del Rio working, Jack Del Rio wouldn't have a job. It's as simple as that for me. He was the only person who could come in. And I think the only reason Jack has got a job, the only reason I do think Jack has a job is there's no one beneath him that's good enough to take that role on. I mean, Coach Z, you could probably give it to Coach Z. I get that. But it's like, do you want it? Do you really want to do that?
How about Ryan Kerrigan? Do you reckon he's got enough experience yet, has he, to be fair?
No, that's the point. That's the point. Not to give him a
especially situational awareness. You kind of need to be experienced a bit, don't you, really, to have a go? But
and look, there's nothing wrong with the experience of Jack Del Rio. He's been a head coach before.
Oh, he's been forever.
He ticks all the boxes. He ticks all the boxes. Yeah. But you're right. You're right with what you said before, Scouse, because at the end of the day, this was the time to make a change if you're going to make a change. Not only because it's a kick up the arse that the players need to say, you know what, no one's safe. If they can see that the coach isn't safe, your job is like, holy crap, my arse is on the line here. I got to fight for my position. I've got to fight for my job. I'm going to have to do something about it. Don't put a sign on the locker room door saying, do your job. But what is that? That's like me saying, oh, please wash your hands. It's ridiculous. It's pissing in the wind is what it is. It is absolutely ridiculous. And I mean, when I saw that, it's laughable. Don't get that, it's laughable.
I mean, the newspaper, you think you stick on the wall that's like other teams' material ripping you. Know what I mean? That's what you do. That's motivation. You put that on the wall. Go, look what these guys have been saying about you, lads. You know what I mean? And that really growls them up. What the fuck?
Do it in our soccer. Do it in our soccer all the time.
Don't you think? I'm kind of doing my job. You know what I mean? Even if you're doing it poorly, you still think you're doing your job, don't you, as a player?
But where's the change? Where's the changes? Where's the coaching technique? We've got bend, don't break defense. We've got our best pass rushers going into coverage. What is going on?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is Del Rio trying to be too smart and overthinking things. Just go, no, mate. Just go back to the basics. Solid, blitz on third downs when they're 3rd and 4 onwards.
Honestly, I mean, yeah, it was wild.
Some pressure, man.
We'll get into it now. I mean, because we'll have to move on, otherwise we'll be here all night because we could literally rant all day on here. But we'll have to review this Bears game, but we'll try and review it quickly. So, Washington 20, Chicago 40. The 0-14 Bears, not just this season. They haven't won in 14 games. It was nearly a calendar year. 22nd of October 2022 was the last time they won a game. And we put up 40 against them. I mean, it is the absolute most inept display, especially that first half, of anything that I've seen in a long, long time. I mean, people say, oh yeah, well, what about the massacre, Monday Night Massacre and all this? Well, yeah, but we were injured then. This is a full team that's healthy. And you're telling me that was acceptable because, the other thing that pisses me off more than anything, Scouse, is the fact, and I'm having a sizzle here, is the point that, they've asked for sellouts. I've just seen there that the Philadelphia game in week 8 again at home is a sellout. You've asked for sellouts. You've asked for the fans to be on your side. They've turned out in their droves. I mean, poor Hog Farmer Joe. I'm not saying it's a case for him, but I'm reading tweets where he's saying I'm spending £800 in physically pounds English money, $900+ per game to go and watch this shit team. And you put out a performance like that when you've asked the fan base to arrive, to show up. They showed up. They showed up against the Bears. The Bears don't travel well. It was not you probably say 10% Bears fans there. Yeah, okay, I get it with Buffalo. They travel everywhere. So you're going to get quite a few there. Philadelphia, there's probably going to be more green jerseys than there is burgundy and gold.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why there will be a sellout for this week. Oh, sorry, the Eagles game when that is, I think week 8.
Yeah.
But that's because they're coming. That won't be because of us.
No, of course it won't be. But when you think about it and you want the fans to turn up and show up, they've shown up. And you perform that, 27-3 at halftime, and then your head coach comes out and says, you know, when you're wanting a bit of inspiration, when you're sitting there at 2:30 in the morning going, do you know what the fuck am I watching? I should just go to bed. I'm expecting my head coach to come out and say to the media lady who's on the sidelines, oh yeah, coach, you know, what are you going to do to fix it? Oh, well, I'm going to go out them and I've told them this and I've told them that, and we're going to get back to the fundamentals. That's the sort of thing I want to hear, not, oh, I let the players do the talking. You said it before, Scouts. $8 million a year we're paying this guy. What are you doing? What are you doing to stand there with your arms folded on the sidelines?
And doing nothing? Now, I don't mind the demeanour. I mean, I prefer somebody a bit more riled up, personally. But from that bit, I don't mind that bit. But what I do mind is definitely what you mentioned before. You know, I don't understand. Your job there is to sort this out on the fly. You know, if something's going wrong, make an adjustment.
Correct.
Whatever it is, make the adjustment. He's not doing it. Del Rio's not doing it. EB was doing it the first couple of weeks and not done it since.
No,
so
he
I don't
hasn't.
understand why is he getting worse? Has he been told that he's got to get in line with Ron and being that bad? Is that what it is? I mean,
yeah, unless Ron hasn't given him full click like we all thought he had done. I don't know who's making the calls.
He doesn't even know what play, bit him on the arse, an offensive play. He wouldn't even know.
But I know. I mean, we'll get into the stats then.
Because if we did that, we did that in our walls. If we were that bad, we would have a job now. You know what I mean? We would be fired. You'd be like, you are not good enough at this role. Goodbye.
Well, you imagine, Burrows mentioned it on a bunker on the post game there. I mean, you imagine turning up at your work there and it's like you've had 4 days off and you've come back in and you've gone, do you know what? I can't be asked today. just not gonna bother.
Yeah,
you wouldn't have a job. You
put in 10% effort. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I'll put in 10% effort tomorrow because it's Friday, absolutely. But so will everybody else. So I kind of feel okay there. I'm not fussed. But I'm not a professional athlete, and I'm not watching fans put that much money in their pocket.
Yeah, and we're not being paid ridiculous millions.
Exactly
either.
That. Yeah.
Your job is to be a player, but also, you know, you got a responsibility. When it comes to money like that, when you're getting paid big millions like these guys do. You've got a responsibility, man, to the people of the team you play for. Even if you're not a Washington fan as a player, that these guys probably might be supporting even Dallas or whatever.
But do you think they care?
But the thing is, when you're playing for us, you should be professional football player. Keyword professional. Why aren't these guys acting professional?
Do you think they actually care though? Genuinely, do you think they care?
I think some do. I think like people like John Allen do, but I don't think there's enough.
Terry, yeah.
Maybe I reckon there's probably about half a dozen on the whole team that might care. I think the other ones just don't give a shit.
Just think I've made it, I'm getting paid. That's how it is.
Yeah. I think that is some of it. I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, don't forget. I mean, even though I'm a huge Cam Curl fan, he's not been paid. And he didn't want to play. He didn't want to start play any games until he got paid. And his level has been not good.
No, it hasn't been.
So is it a case of he doesn't want to get hurt? He's playing at 50%. See what I mean? I don't know. I mean, I'm just spitballing, but I'm just
still
thinking.
He's still our top tackler on the team.
I'd be pissed if I was in a situation.
Oh, 100%. I want that back.
You know, in our jobs as well. Wait a minute. I've worked hard. I've done everything I should have done for the last 3 years, and now comes to my payday. You're not going to pay me. What's that about? I want to leave. That's exactly what we would do. That's my mindset. If that happened 100%, to me,
I would be too.
So I can understand why you go, well, you know what? Okay, I can't technically walk out, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to not play that well. I'm just going to make sure I don't get hurt. You know what I mean? Like, because if he gets hurt now, he gets nothing. Think about that.
I would hope that they don't have that attitude. I really would hope that they don't have that attitude when they get on the field.
You've heard the term, haven't you? Oh, they've made a business decision there.
Yeah.
You see corners pull out tackles from the running backs and all that because they don't want to get hurt. And a lot of times it's because they're in the final year of the contracts and they're waiting for big money. And if they don't get big money, then you're screwed. And if you're coming off a rookie contract, which he was getting paid buttons, let's face it. You know, this guy was a number 1 overall pick where you're getting like 30 million for your 4 years, 5 years. You know, he got like maybe 5 million of his total for all 4 years that he's played.
I don't think it was even that. I think about 3, something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now, okay, 3 million in 5 years, I'll take that all day long. But the thing is, obviously, for these guys, that's pittance.
Yeah, in the context of things, yeah.
In the context of things, you know. But that's the thing, though. So I'm not saying that he is doing that. I'm just saying that there might be guys like that on the team. You know, we go, well, you know what? I don't know if I like this. I don't like Del Rio's style. You know, we're not liking what he's saying. We're not improving anywhere.
We're not listening to
Ron trying. I'm not going to be here next year because they're going to be all fired anyway. So why should I try? You see what I mean? And some players will be like that, even if they don't want to be. When the going gets tough, that's when you start thinking that shit. Like, 27-3 down. What's the point? You know what I mean? Rather than going, wait a minute, we shouldn't even be in that position.
But we've got that in
mentality thing, man.
We've got that in that mentality in our own workforce, and we all know people who are like that.
We've all seen it. We've all seen it.
Of course we do. Yeah, I mean, you've got genuine leaders who you want to follow, and you've got managers and people who will game manage and will manage their time, and that is exactly the same in any walk of life. So I'm pretty certain you probably have got people like that. But I hope that is not the attitude they take. Yeah. But
and the key what I mentioned before, professional. You know, I mean, you should be professional, and so you shouldn't have that mentality. But no, sometimes it's human nature as well. You know,
of course,
I'm not blaming them. I'm not blaming them as such. You know, but I just think sometimes you're definitely seeing some business decisions being happening.
So that drops our record then, Scouts, down to 2-3, and obviously I'll go through the stats just very quickly. Howell, 388 yards for 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 5 sacks. So that's 29 sacks so far this season he's had against him. Now, I mean, I said this the other day. He is not going to stay healthy if he continues to take over 5 sacks a lick every game. I mean, 3 of them were on him, completely on him. 2 of them were on the offensive line. If we go back, if you go back and look at the tape, 3 of them were his. But you're asked, Sam Howell, because you're 27-3 down, to throw an NFL record 55 passes in a row.
In a row?
In the second half.
Not just 55 passes.
No, in a row. I mean, what on earth? I thought EB had lost the plot completely.
Yeah. And I thought Howell did
he did really well, considering.
I thought he did really well because, you know, yeah, of course, you know, the first half was just terrible by everybody. You know, I mean, there was no good player at all in the first half. But when you're asking a guy's played 5 games in his career to throw 55 times and only throw 1 pick, I think that's pretty impressive, to be honest with me. And especially when the other team, and we all know that it's going to be a passing play.
And so you're chasing
every single time.
Yeah, I know.
Chasing it. And I thought he did really well. I mean, yeah, you're right. He's got to stop taking hits. He thinks he can run like, you know, running back. No, not on this division. You can't, because you're going to get hurt. I mean, even when he's like an off script run, you know, oh shit, it's gone. The play's broken down. I'm going to make a run for it. He gets nailed every single time. When he gets tackled, he gets hit hard, and it's like, mate, you need to stop doing all that. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yes, once in a while, use your legs, definitely, but you know,
just throw the ball away. Live another day. Live another day.
Save yourself, man, because we need you to stay healthy for 17 games, man, not 7. You know what I mean? So he needs to do that. He needs to be a bit more smart.
He does, and I want to see that body of work as well from him to then make an assessment and say, is he the guy? I mean, at the moment, he's living up to expectations for me. Yeah, he needs to get a little bit more nuance on his throw in. You know, this stupid picks, the ones against the Bills, we can go back to. But at the same time, he drops it in the bucket for Terry over the top, and it was a fantastic play. And he has moments where you're like, this guy's amazing.
Not many QBs could make that throw. Do you know what I mean?
No, not at all.
And that's what I mean. He's got that talent, and that's why I'm always going to be interested in him in that respect, because he's got these like out of the world moments. You're thinking, bloody hell, where did that come from? Yeah, okay. Something shocking next coming up, but he's so inconsistent. But he will get better with that, you know.
He will do, because effectively this is his rookie season, isn't it? And we've got to treat it like that as well. You know,
asking a guy to throw 55 times, who's played 5 games in his NFL career, is ridiculous. I don't care if they're getting smoked, which we were getting smoked. That's just ridiculous by EB. Now, I've heard some rumors. Oh yeah, they've done that so he gets a lot of reps, so he can see them more. No, mate, what you're doing there, you're setting him up to fail. That's exactly what you're doing there. Yep. And no, he is tough as nails, man. He will take those hits, but eventually his body will break down. You know what I mean? And
the other thing as well, Scouts, there is you are losing that game by 20 points. Well, yeah, with 3.5 minutes to go, or 3:45, or whatever it was on the clock. You know, Moore's just running a touchdown. At that point, don't let Sam go. Put Jacoby in and say, you know what? Off you go, Jacoby. Crack on.
I think that's the reason why
is done. The game is done.
Did you see it? Jacoby and EB
going at each other. Yeah. Yep.
I think
maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what it was.
Like, why is he still in the game? Like, you should be protecting this guy. Well, we already lost this match. You know, and even think it was Leno. I think he mentioned as well.
Yeah, he did. Leno came out afterwards. Yeah.
The game was already over at a certain point. I don't know.
And I've got to give props, actually, to be fair. I've got to give props. We've dug him out a few times on here, and I've got to give props here. Leno had a good game against the Bears. He was his best game of the season against the Bears. And surprise, it's his former employer. Of course, he's going to want to play well against them.
Yeah.
And fair play to him.
Motivated for that.
Of course he is. He's motivated to do that. And he's probably one of the only people who was motivated, but he kept him clean on that left side. So well done, Charles Leno. Great game. Sam Cosmi again, highest rated guard against who's not giving up a sack in according to PFF. So he's having a really good season at right guard. So this offensive line is not terrible or as bad as we think it is. He's just got pieces that are making serious mistakes at times.
And that's talked about it. And this is the problem that we had last season when I was talking about Leno, but he was getting burned toast every single game. It's because he had a dodgy shit left guard next to him.
Yep.
He's not good enough to be left on an island. He's not Trent Williams. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can leave him on his own and he can do whatever it takes. Like, he's just that damn good. But Leno's not like that. You need to have at least a decent-ish guard next to him to make it solid. And Charles played well.
He's done all right. Yeah,
that held my hands up, man, because by now I thought he'd be injured. I thought he'd be out of the game by now, and he's still going strong. So fair play to him. And with him playing along with Leno, they're doing okay. But the
left
biggest
side, I'm not bothered about the left side.
The biggest problems is Wiley and the centre. The Gates, it really is. They're not good, man. They are not good offensive linemen. I'll change them to right now.
So we'll get back onto the stats then. So B-Rob, this is obviously we talked about the 55 passes, 6 carries for 10 yards.
Yeah, what's that about?
And then our highest receiving person was Logan Thomas, 9 catches for 77 yards.
Well, he had a good game. The biggest thing for him though was that fumble, because that was we were driving down and we were getting tighter in that game, and then he fucking give up that fumble, and that just took all the momentum out of our offense. Really did.
Yeah, we was done then, wasn't it?
It was a huge play, man.
You knew at that point that's it. Done.
Huge problem. Done. Yeah. Trying to fight for an extra yard, I get it. Work hard, fight to the last inch, but it wasn't the end zone. Do you know what I mean? Like, she just took the tackle.
So have you got a Scouse's sizzle this week then for us, Scouse?
Oh, way too many.
Way too many.
Scouse's sizzle, baby.
Thank you. I'm Mike Tyson.
Good old Iron Mike. Now, it's Del Rio, innit? It's got to be Del Rio. Del Rio.
You're fucking trash.
Right. Absolute fucking shite. Now, half the time I've been ranting about him all the way through this show. But the thing is, right, one of my biggest annoying things about this guy is he's so weak. Like, he's got no aggressiveness in his team at all, or even in himself. He's got no aggressive tendencies in any way. He's not a leader.
Just say it's a dust-up Scouse, wouldn't he? But anyway, we'll move on.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. And the thing is as well is, you've got 4 first-round picks on D-line. That is your
6 on that whole defense.
Yeah, that is the essence of this team. You've decided to go down the defense has got to be the best. Yeah, it's got to be. And we're gonna put all our capital into the defense. Obviously, besides linebacker, because they're fucking idiots. But anyway, so why are our guys playing like shit? Why? Scheme, motivation, or maybe a lack of. Maybe no help, because Del Rio thinks that we can get home with just the 4 guys up front. He can't do it. Sometimes he might get some pressure, sure, but they're not getting loads of sacks because we're not actually putting pressure on the QB besides the 4. See what I mean? We're not sending no linebackers. We're not sending no corner blitzes. We're not doing anything to help the actual D-line out. Del Rio's just sitting there going, okay, yeah, the D-line will sort out that, don't worry, and the QB be fine, be stuck in the pocket, and we can have all our guys, DBs at the back. No, it's not working. We're getting burnt toast every single week. It's not good enough, man. I mean, averaging 30 points a game, something like that. We're conceding points, something like that.
Yeah, 30. It's actually more than that because of the 4. It's 32 games, 174 points we've conceded
over 5 games
so far. Over 5 games, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for a team that's got, I just say 6 first-round picks,
So who's that? So we've got Forbes, we've got Jamin Davis, and then we've got the front four, haven't we?
Yeah.
So it is 6. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, and then you've also got the guys who were second rounders, third rounders.
Yeah, I
as
know.
well.
Juice,
Juice was a third round.
Quan,
I think Fuller was a third round when he first came out.
Phil Mathis.
Phil Mathis, yeah. You've got a lot of so-called high draft capital in the defense. So that's why as players, as people like us, like normal fans, would expect our defense to be top draw. But the problem is, it's not top draw because of the shit that Del Rio does. This zone match thing, the zone match scheme, shite. Forget about that. Go back to standard stuff, man. You don't play zone, you play zone, right? But bring some more pressure, man. You've got to change it up. But I just don't see him doing it because he's still setting his own ways. You mentioned before about that, with the interview about Cody Barton. Oh, Cody Barton, he's fine. He's happy. I'm happy with him. No, man. If you're thinking he's any good, then you need to go. You need to walk up. You need to be out the door with Barton. Even then, Barton might miss the tackle on him as well. That's how bad they both are. So
bring back John Bostic. All this week.
Yeah, exactly. Barton makes me miss Bostic. That's how bad Cody Barton is, and that's another guy that Ron and Del Rio think that, oh yeah, we can mold this guy, we can polish this turd, and it'll be all right. No. Sort it out, man. That's why Del Rio should have been gone. He should have been gone.
Yeah, I agree. It was the right time. It was the right time, Scouse. Because
I'd rather have even fucking having Ron calling the plays.
Yeah,
I'd rather have Ron. He was an old defensive buddy guy for a long time, defensive coordinator. I'm sure he knows Del Rio's scheme. Been there 4 years, so why not let him take it for now? Like a head coach / defensive coordinator combo.
Well, it happens. I mean, Andy Reid does it on offense, and I'm sure others do the same thing for head coach. So why not?
Miko Ryans, I think, does it mostly as well.
Does it. Yeah.
No, he's more defensive minded. Head coach, but he does also a little
Robert
bit.
Saleh, I think he does it too, doesn't he? Oh no. They've got. They have
coordinators there. They still kind of have a big input in what's happening, And why can't Ron do that? Ron at the moment looks like he's just fucking cruising around, not earning any money. He needs to give this guy this little golf cart and something to fuck off. That's what we need to do. He needs to go. Del Rio needs to go, and he'll need to go now. Not next week, not next year. Now.
Well, that moves us on then, I suppose, Scouse. I'll ask you this: is this now an absolutely must-win game against the Atlanta Falcons? I mean,
well, it depends what you want to achieve.
Because
what do these guys want to achieve?
True. I mean, we looked at it and all was rosy in the Garden. You're 2-2, and I mean, yeah, okay, you were 2-2. We were close against,
We're 2-0.
Yeah, we were 2-0. But then you were close against the Eagles, and you're like, do you know what? We're close, and I can. If you're going to lose to the Bills and you're going to lose to the Eagles, you're going to on the docket. You looked at that and said, we're going to be 2-2 at this point. Then you're going into a 3-game stretch where you've got shit Bears who are terrible. You've got the Falcons, and then you've got the Giants who are an absolute basket case. That is 3 wins easy there. And you're thinking to yourself, if I come out of this after the first quarter and I'm 5-2, yeah, that's we're this is a good season. We're going to be okay.
Yeah, we're on to a winner then, 5-2. No, I mean, we're on to a winner, genuinely.
We genuinely, if we play anything like that again when we did against the Bears, we could lose these next 2 games.
Easily.
Next 3 games.
Any given Sunday anyway is always one. You look at Arizona beating Dallas a few weeks back. You weren't expecting that, and that happened.
The Jags beat the Bills at the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, again, some people thought, well, Jags are at home. They've been there as well for, to do the travel. They stayed over. So some people were saying that would make a difference, and it did. So the thing is, for me, it's like you have to. It's the way I'm looking for. We have to. Is it a must-win game? The answer is simple. Yes, but it depends what the actual want to do. If they want to start tanking, then no, it's not a must-win game, is it? So it depends. And what we'll find out is, will the players respond? Will they actually play well, or will they just be nonchalant as usual and only 50% effort and be 20-0 down at half time? Or if those things happened against Atlanta this game, I mean, honestly, it's like me, the coordinator and the head coach have lost the players. It's simple as that. Because if you can't get up for these games are winnable, as you said. They are winnable games. But we have to play well to win them. We can't play badly and win. They're not that bad. They're not that bad at teams that if you play poorly, you can win this game. No, we've got to play quite well. We've got to play at 90% of our best to beat these teams. No, Atlanta are very similar to us.
Yeah, they're 3-2 record at the minute. So
3-2 record, which is probably higher than what they should be. But their defense is actually very good.
So this question though.
It is. It's
no,
decent.
No. I'm saying that. I mean, we'll go through it in a second. I'll say their secondary and their back line is very good, but the rest of their defense is pretty poor. Actually, I mean,
have a look at their running stats.
Yeah, I've got it here. I've got it here. So Ridder hasn't lost at home, and he hasn't lost at home throughout college or the NFL. He's got 1,073 yards. 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions this year, and he's took 16 sacks. So actually, his stats aren't very good at all as a quarterback.
I'm talking about the run defense.
Robinson, Bijan, 364 yards, 67 carries, has no TDs, has not scored a touchdown at all. And then he's averaging 5.4 a carry. It's not that great. Tyler Algier, on the other hand, who's the other running back, 62 carries, 191 yards, and he's got 2 TDs. Then you get into their defense. You've got Gianni. Well, you've still got the other options. Jonnu Smith and Kyle Pitts are the receiving leaders, but they've only got 206 and 208 yards, and neither of them has a TD. Drake London is close behind them with 204 yards, and he's got 2 touchdowns. So actually, when you look at that on offense, not brilliant.
Their offense isn't pure scary. They've got talent, but the problem is the Ridder is like a game manager.
Of course he is.
He's not a guy. He's not like a Sam Howell who could launch you 40, 50 yards right to your hands. He's not one of them quarterbacks, but he's normally solid and steady. Now those 3 interceptions, I think 2 of them or 3 of them were actually against the Jags. He had an awful game in London. He had an awful game. So besides that, if you take that game out, he's actually been pretty good.
Yeah.
And Bijan, Bijan's one of them talents, man, that if you just give him half an inch, he's taking it to the house.
He will.
And our defense is shit. So let's face it, they're going to play it. They're going to get him in the game where our linebackers have got to take him on.
And Algier is not a daft second running back either. Let's be honest.
No, that's what I said. And they've also got Cordell Patterson as well.
Oh yeah, of course they have. Yeah.
And last year he killed us last season when we played him.
Brilliant last year.
And Mariota killed us on the ground.
So then if we get onto the defensive side for Atlanta, I mean, they've got 5 sacks all season. So that front doesn't bother me in any way, shape, or form. Not interested.
Run defense, though?
I'm not sure what the run defense are, but the defensive leader is Jesse Bates with 3 interceptions, 2 forced fumble. Great player. Richie Grant.
Great player.
Richie Grant and AJ Terrell are also at the back end. So I'm saying the back end of this is absolutely top draw, but the rest of it is kind of mid. It's not amazing.
But can it stop the run? And I think it can, because when you watch it, when you see them, they stop the run well. So it's going to stop our running games, which means that it's going to be down to Sam Howell again to throw 40-odd times and hope that we can win against probably an elite secondary. So we're playing to their strengths. So we're going to do nothing. We're going to do nothing. We'll be lucky to get 14 points, mate. We'll be lucky to get that. Telling you, we're not winning this game. We're not winning this game. What they're good at, we're bad at. So they perfectly match us, if that makes sense. How to beat us. Their strengths take on our weaknesses quite well. And that's why I feel like we're just going to get beat.
So funny enough, I mean, Commander Viscount, John Bowden Grace has put in thanks for your question, by the way. He's put in a question saying, what are your thoughts on how we stop Bijan, Drake, and Kyle Pitts? So he's obviously worried the same as we are. I mean, I am struggling to think how we do stop Bijan's the biggest problem we're going to have.
He's the biggest threat, and if you give Ridder enough time, you'll find Pitts and you'll find London. So, but London's hit and miss. You don't know what you're going to get with London. So I'm not
with Kyle Pitts. He can go missing for games.
But it's because Ridder's not finding him. The guy's always open, just that Ridder doesn't throw the ball to him. I don't know why that is, because he's probably. I mean, I know Pitts from his college days. The guy's a different level receiver and receiving tight end. He really is. But you've got to play him right. And they're starting to get him in the game more recently, the last couple of games. They have tried to get Pitts involved more. So, And you can see this happen again. But Arthur Smith's offense is all about running the ball or short screens, you know what I mean? Using the running backs more than the actual receivers. So I understand from that angle why Drake London's not only got 200 yards and Pitts has only got 200 yards and then Bijan's got this.
It's funny, isn't it? It's funny, Scouts, because I spoke the other day, and I mean, maybe I misspoke there. I looked at that and went, "Oh, that's not that good." This front that they've got on the defense, they've only got 5 sacks all season. I mean, the Bears had 3 going into a game against us.
5 against us.
Yeah. They got 5. So
yeah, that's what I mean, man. So it's like it is any given Sunday. I mean, could we win this game? Yes, but we have to turn up. We can't play anywhere near like we've done in these games we played. If we play where we did against the Eagles, we'll win this game. Yeah, we play any other game that we've played this season, we'll get beat. It's as simple as that, because only the Eagles, I've said, we played really well and really well for most of that game. Now, one quarter where we kind of bottled it a little bit.
Yeah, the third quarter was a bit.
Third quarter. But everything else was spot on. And I thought, like, if we can just produce that over 4 quarters, we'll be a hard team to beat. But we're not doing it every single week. So I don't understand the inconsistencies. The players are still there. It's not like, we lost half our team after that good performance. What is going on? It's got to be on the coaches and motivation. It has to be. It has to be on the motivation of the players, keeping them motivated, and also the scheme that they're playing. It has to be. There's no other reason for it. And the guys are more motivated when you play in-house. You play your own division. You tend to be up for it more. Just naturally, because it means like 1.5. Really, the Canada's 1.5 games, don't they? Really, we think about.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
So, all our guys are motivated, and you're stuck to the script. I mean, we had a good game. I mean, nearly took them out. Every other game, we've not even started. We don't even start till the second half.
So I'll ask you. You're right. We can't keep doing that. I'll ask you your prediction then, Scouts. What are you saying for the away?
I think we lose. I think we lose 21-14. That's what I think.
Oh God.
Yeah. I think we lose by 7. I really do. I don't think we're just not very good. I mean, we're not singing on the same hymn sheet at all. Defense is looking lazy. I mean, even some of the guys who play for the Bears were saying, the offensive linemen were saying, they were showing very weak zone, very weak boxes, all this type of stuff. They weren't getting into position quickly. They weren't like fired up. It's just like if they're saying stuff like that about the other team, that's pretty bad. If they're saying that, So, I mean, there's something not right there. There's something, something in the background that the players are unhappy about, or the coach are unhappy about, whatever it is.
Big disconnect somewhere, isn't there?
That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, that's exactly what's going on.
It is.
Painful, man. And what do you think? What do you think the score's going to be?
I want to say we're going to win this game, and there's going to be a bit of a fight back. And I think Sam Howell could fight back and do that on his own if he feeds the right players. I mean, is it scheme with EB? I mean, we've not seen anything on anyone other than Logan Thomas and Terry, really. Where's Jahan Dotson gone? I know he had an ankle problem, and against the Eagles, he got that touchdown at the very last second, which was amazing. But you wanted to see more and more out of him. I wanted to see this expansive offense, this big screen game that hasn't come. I mean, Curtis Samuel showed up. He is there in the game. That's fine, but maybe we need to.
At the moment, he's probably our most successful receiver.
Yeah, he is, and we have to see what we're doing. What we're doing on this scheme. I think if we scheme it up well on offense, we can win this game. But ultimately, the game rests on the defense. We have to get to Ridder. And the problem I have in my back of my mind is seeing and looking at that and saying, Ridder hasn't lost at home throughout college or throughout the professional game. He ain't going to want to let that go. And for me, I think it's going to be a tight.
Last week, in London, I was at the game. He was bad. He was god awful. I thought, if he plays like this against us, we're going to hammer him. But last week, he played very well.
I watched a bit of the Falcons and over the last few weeks, and they seem to get a lot of field goals. They've got a good kicker in Koo.
Hardly misses. So he's not like our guy. He missed a shank to the right. You know what I mean? Mr. Shank to the left.
I'm going to go 24-21. Falcons, unfortunately, and another loss.
I love the way you try and keep it. Oh, it's going to be tight. It's going to be close.
I do think it's going to be tight.
We're going to get smoked. We're going to get smoked. This team is not
if they put up 30 points in the game. If they put up 30 points against us again this week, then there has to be firings for me. There has to be in changes. I know the ownership's saying they're going to let Ron have his time, I think is the rumor that we've heard. And, people close to him, sources say this. I mean, what's your source? Trust me, bro. It's just, I get it, but it's like, no one knows what Josh Harris is going to be, but we haven't got the previous owner. I'm not going to name him again on the pod. The previous owner is not here anymore, and he would have made a decision at that point against the Bears. Yeah. No doubt about it.
So I understand I've had some media guys say, that's another previous owner decision if you find somebody hot quickly, like if we did it last week. But you've got to see how the team reacts and responds. If it doesn't respond when you get smoked the next game, that's on coaching, man. That's on coaching. There's only so much as a professional. You've got to be motivated. You know what I mean? To still try and produce and win. But if the players don't believe in the coach anymore and the scheme and the plan, then you've lost a locker room. There's no point in you being there. Your team's not going to play well. You're going to get beat. You're going to keep getting beat. Eventually, you're going to get fired. It's exactly that's how it works in any sport. If you keep losing games, especially really badly, you get fired. The coaches get fired. Simple as that.
The thing is, I don't really, this is what the annoying thing is. If we do get beat here, this is going to be the catalyst, and someone's going to go. It's not going to be Ron, but someone's going to go. It's most likely going to be Del Rio. So if that does happen, I then think, what's the point? You've wasted a week here where you've had the mini bye week almost, and the time, the 10 days where this could have been done. You again, but this is typical Washington. This is what we do. We're a week, 2 weeks behind everything. Do you know what I mean? We're stuck in the doldrums of, oh, well, what about this? I mean, fucking what? We missed the playoffs? What? I mean, come on, Ron. And then it's like, I'm the guy who brought in, I looked at the analytics and I brought Carson Wentz in. Well, you're fucking blind, mate. I mean, honestly, to be honest with you, right? I think we're all at the point now where we know that Ron and Jack Del Rio and this coaching staff are done. And it's a busted flush. And it's been like that, this lame duck, before the season started. Maybe that hype's got into the players. Maybe that media thing's gone there. Maybe they know there's a change there because of the owners come in. Josh Harris and his groups come in and they want a change at coaching as well. And AB's come across and he's the assumed new head coach that's going to come in. Hey, man, he's got to watch himself too, because he ain't going to get a job if this carries on, because his making Sam Howell throw 55 times is a joke. And he needs to change as well. Yeah, he adjusted a couple of, the Denver game he was adjusting, as you said. I haven't seen any adjustments out of EB as well. So I'm starting to think.
That's what I mean. I've not seen him since the Denver game. I've not seen any. I've just not seen any since the Denver game. So it's like,
is it a 1 year rental for him? I don't know. I'm just putting it out there.
As you say yourself, if everything goes tits up, he's going to ruin his reputation as well.
He's associated with that. And that's what we said. Yeah. We said that before he said there. We said
that's why I don't think he's on the line. As in, he's not trying to charge himself. I think it's just he feels like he needs to throw the ball all the time to keep catching up straight away. And you don't, especially when you only even 2 scores behind. You can still get that back as long as your defense plays okay. You can still get it back, even running the ball or 50-50 split or whatever. You can still get it. You can still claw that back. When he starts throwing the balls 55 times, mate, I don't care if you got Pat Mahomes throwing 55 times. If he's doing that, 9 out of 10, you're going to lose the game anyway. Teams lose the game when you throw the ball that often.
Absolutely.
You look at the stats. There's not many teams you throw 55 times.
No, and I stand by my comments, and I've said this a few times, and I know you have too, is I like Ron Rivera. Yeah, I really do. I think he's the right man.
Great guy.
He's the right man at the right time for this organization. When it was chaos, we needed that steady hand on the tiller. He was the bloke. He was the bloke who we needed.
He was the right guy at the right time.
Of course he was, but now his time's come.
I just think his time's up, only because the players aren't responding to what he's saying, to what he's doing. We've had one really good game in 5. Do you know what I mean? On that game he lost. Do you know what I mean? Right, so you think about it that way. It's like, well, what are we doing here? What are we doing? If the players aren't responding, if we play every week, we played against the Eagles, we'd be probably more like 4-1 rather than 3, 2 and 3. So, but
hope's not all lost.
And so that's Chili's question, because I know you mentioned Chili's question yet.
I did, yeah. So So we'll go into the fan questions. We'll pull ourselves back off the ledge. We've calmed ourselves down now. We've had a bit of a therapy set. Yeah, we've had a therapy session here. And Peter Chilton's put in a question. So Chili's put this in, and he says, "Does the performances on Thursday give you hope for the future or frustration, as we know that they can play?" And we know they were bad against the Bears. So basically, it's are you frustrated by it, or is it we know that they can play better than what they've got?
Well, that's exactly what it is. It definitely leads us to frustration. It's not hope; it's frustration, because we have seen that they can play quite well. Even in the two second halves against the first two games, we played quite well, and we came back and won the games.
Yep.
So, but for most of the game was the Eagles. I thought that was our best performance, even though we lost. So that game would give me hope and think, well, actually, if we play anything like that going forward, we'll be fine. We'll beat most teams. Eagles are one of the Super Bowl contenders. Let's face it. So, I can hold my hands up and say, okay, they're a better team than us. Fair enough. We play well, but they just nicked it at the end. Fair play. No. Then we saw that crap against the Bears. Like, what is that about? I mean, so what's happened there? This is prime time as well. It's like,
I know.
If at any time for players should be motivated, it should be prime time.
It's always us. It's always
we
us.
always play awful on prime time.
The streak beaters. If you've got a streak going, and you play in the Commanders, it's gonna go. Whether you're on an 11-game winning streak, whether you're on a 13-game winning streak, whether you haven't won in a long time, if you're playing the Commanders on prime time,
it'll change for the better.
It's going to
worse, depending. And that's the thing. So for me, it's frustration because we can't do it for 4 quarters in one game. We can't do it, and I don't understand. I don't understand why we can't do it. The players have proven that they can actually play well. So why don't they play well every week? It's got to be scheme, hasn't it? It has to be scheme and the play calling that's happening. It has to be. The players are talented enough. They're proving that they can do it when they call the right game plan and the right plays, offense and defense. But then all of a sudden it's like, nah, we'll just go to a different way. We'll do it this way. We'll throw no pressure on players on the quarterback and let Justin Fields run right through the middle where nobody is. Like, what's that about? Like, if your 4 guys are trying to keep contain, where's your linebackers gone? They should be there as well. Where were they? They were nowhere to be seen. And this is what I'm saying, man. That's just like it's all on positioning. So, i.e., that is either Cody Barton's problem for telling Davis to be over somewhere else, or it's the play calling. It has to be. This is why Del Rio has to go before anybody else. He has to be the one going first. He really does.
I agree with you. So we'll get into other fan questions we've got then. So Deucelicious says, how many 50s are we getting put on us this year? I'd say 3 or 4. I don't know if we concede 50, but it might be. I mean, someone like Miami maybe could come in and
Miami could do it. Chiefs could do it.
That'd be tough. Chiefs. We've got the Chiefs.
I think the Chiefs, haven't we?
Not sure if we do.
Yeah. One sec. Let me double check.
Philly at home.
Philly won't put that many on.
Don't cover 50 on us. I won't put 50 on us, but I don't know. Maybe 1, possibly. And I'm thinking Miami potentially, but I don't know.
49ers do it to us.
Oh, 49ers. Oof. Yeah. Well, again, do they put up a lot of points? I don't think they do put a lot of points up, but they've got a very good defense.
You just put 40 up against Dallas.
Oh, they did actually. Yeah. Wow. Okay. George Kittle got a hat trick, didn't he? Yeah, that's right.
You're right. We're not playing. You're right. We're not playing the Chiefs, but
we always seem to play the Chiefs. Scouts.
The Giants, Eagles, Pats are awful this year. They won't do it.
Green
Hawks,
Bay.
You won't put 50 on us. They put probably 30 on us. Hawks. Cowboys. Nah. In divisions is just different. No, it's home. It's home.
Yeah, of course it is.
You know what I mean? So yeah, Dolphins is definitely 1.
Possibly.
And the Niners. That's what
Dolphins
I think.
And the Niners, yeah.
I reckon maybe 2, mate. I reckon maybe 2.
1. I don't even think that. I don't even think we'll get 50. That's a lot. 50 is a lot of points. 40 in the 40s, I could say. Yeah, probably
the
both
Bears
of them.
40 on us, so why couldn't
exactly? Yeah.
Any of them teams we're playing there, besides the Jets, are actually better than the Bears. And I put 14. So anything could happen.
Right. Maybe he's right.
But I think 1 to 2, mate, personally.
Last question from Rob Morrison. Thanks, Rod, for your question, and thanks, Deuce, for your question as well. Has Forbes been poorly coached, given who he's been up against? Again, there appears to be gaps in our depth chart, either by position or quality or both. And was it part in due to the sale or poor identification of players? And then he said, obviously, Holcomb is missing from our roster. I mean, we touched on that already. Touched a bit already on Kyle, so I don't think we've gone on that. I think we just concentrate on the Forbes bit here then, Scouse. I mean, is it because Forbes has been poorly coached, or is it because he's been given too much responsibility? I mean, for me, you're playing against 3 of the best wide receivers in the entire game. DJ Moore is really, really underrated. AJ Brown is an absolute beast. And then who else was he get? Was he against Stephon Diggs? I think he was against Stephon Diggs, wasn't he, as well? So against the Bills. So very, very tough assignments for Emmanuel Forbes. And we mentioned it before. If you're getting in this ball hawking safe cornerback who's going to come in, start, is slight of build. We knew who he was. Look, if this guy is 225 pounds and he's almost 6 foot, he's going in the top 2 or 3 picks. He is not going to be around when we're picking midway. It's just not going to happen. Yeah, we had the chance to get Christian Gonzalez, who has performed better, but he's on IR. But then you look at the other players that we've got, and you've got Witherspoon who's been balling out. There's other safeties. Yeah, there's other safeties as well who are
on prime time.
Sorry, not safeties.
Big players short.
Yeah, of course it is. What's the guy who went to the Steelers called again? I can't remember his name now. Son of a former Steeler as well. Joey Porter Jr., wasn't it?
Yeah. He's okay.
Doing okay. You know what I mean? And now you think to yourself, if they are the prototypical cornerback size, we probably wouldn't have Emmanuel Forbes. So they've gone for him. They've picked him on the strength of his ball hawking skills, his takeaway skills, because
I always compare him to Trayvon Diggs. Now you can always say, "Oh, you shouldn't do it. He's different. He's a different corner." And to be fair, to a certain extent, they are. But the reason why I always compare them because they are both ball hawks, genuine ball hawks, right? So I always try and compare the two. Now, Trayvon Diggs in his All-Pro season gave up 1,000 yards in the year. That's a lot of yards, man, for a cornerback. But he did get 11 interceptions. That was his All-Pro year that he had about two years ago now, 2 and a bit years ago.
Yeah.
Last season he only had like 4 interceptions, but gave up 750. So he's the yardage. So everyone said he got better because he wasn't getting burned as much, but he also wasn't as ball hawking as much. So you got to give and take a bit. Do you know what I mean? Depending on which way you go about it. If you're asking them to be 100% ball hawk, you got to expect them to get burned and get burned a lot, especially against top level wide receivers. Now, the thing is for me, should they be up against the AJ Brown? Should he be up against the other guy you mentioned? DJ Moore, and the other guy,
and Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs. These guys have been in the NFL for years. Do you know what it's about? Do you know what to take a rookie to school? Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of, and you've got no good, well, I'll say good quarterbacks. Justin Fields, I don't think is a good quarterback, but we just didn't put any pressure on him. That's a whole defense's fault, not just Forbes. Where the other two have got really good quarterbacks. You know what I mean? So you kind of going, well, should he be on them? And the answer is no.
Especially when there's no safety help, Scouse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're not giving him free safety over top, especially with ball hawking corner, he's going to try and take a chance. He's going to get burned. So where's the over the top help? You see what I mean? And again, that's another Del Rio problem. Yeah,
scheme.
Yeah, scheme again. Play calling again. So, but should he have been on them? Personally, I don't think he should have been. But I think in the last game, St. Juste banged up, was he, or something? Was it last week or the week before?
I think he
because
played.
There was a reason. I think there was a reason where you don't put Fuller in the slot, you don't put Forbes in the slot, and you only had Juste. But I think Juste did he go out for a while in one of the games? I can't remember.
Maybe, yeah, I'm not sure.
I can't remember exactly, but basically, we had no other choice unless we moved Forbes continually away from AJ. But AJ keep following him. Do you see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He was on him all the time because I expected it against the Eagles. I expected him to go up against Devonta Smith.
Yeah,
that's what I thought he was going to be doing. But he wasn't. He was up against AJ Brown for most of the game. Now, again, that doesn't make any sense to me. It's all well and good saying, "Oh, you're our best corner. We believe in you." No, mate, no. You've got to play. You've got to play the percentages here. You're playing a rookie corner against top draw receivers.
The thing that's worse, though, the thing that is really annoying, Scouse, is Kendall Fuller's almost was having a Pro Bowl season until last week. And again, he got absolutely torched. He was useless as well. So the whole team was pretty poor, no matter what we look at it. But again, it's Emmanuel Forbes. He's because he's so slight as well. When he goes to tackle, he's missing tackles. He's tackling too high, and he gets bounced off. You're not going to tackle a big body wide receiver.
This is why he should never have been an AJ Brown at all. He should have been, because he's such a powerful receiver. He should not have been. He should not have been anywhere near him, to be honest. Stefon Diggs is a bit different. Yeah, he's still quite strong, but he's not AJ Brown strong. You know what I mean? So I can understand why you might want to put him up against Diggs. He's fast, you know, those things. That's fine. But AJ Brown,
perennial all pro wide receiver, those guys. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I know what you're saying. But again, it's one of them things, you see, because the problem is, you see, that if Diggs is doing a lot of stuff going into the center, then obviously it's more like slot corner, isn't it? And Forbes doesn't play. He's not a slot corner, so he's going to be staying on the outsides. And the thing is, Fuller is not really a good slot corner either. So the only you've got is St. Juice, and even then, I think personally he's too tall to be a slot corner. So it's
last bit on Forbes. Then, do you see Johnson playing a bit more, Danny Johnson, or do you think they go back to Forbes because?
No, I think they go back to Forbes. I think you got to keep persevering with it. You're going to get highs and lows. It's simple as that. I mean, as I mentioned the Trayvon Diggs thing before. I'm not saying he's going to have an all-pro year. I'm not saying he's going to get 11 interceptions. But the idea is like, you've got to take the rough with the smooth with these guys. You know what I mean? So you got to keep playing them. You got to keep. That's the only way he's going to learn. He's not going to learn to sit on the bench. You're just going to get angry and lose probably more confidence. That he's just sitting there going, "Why am I playing? I'm a first-round pick and this and that." And so you might just keep playing them, but try and scheme it better, make it easier for them. As you say, safety help over the top. It's not hard.
Play off the man a bit. Play off man a bit more rather than press. Play off him. You know what I mean? Give him a little bit of room.
He's a lot of zone as well, but again, that doesn't happen. But you know what I mean? It's kind of like I've someone helping him out over there all the time. Right. Now again, other teams might start going somewhere else, but you like to think the other corners can handle that. The ones they've been in the NFL for a while. So that's what I'd be doing, man. I'd be definitely giving them some safety help, like every single passing down. You should be giving them some safety help.
Great question, Rod. Great question.
Great question. As I say, for me, definitely shouldn't have been. Definitely should not have been up against the elite receivers.
Agreed. Well, that just about does us then, Scouse. I mean, it's going to be another misery Monday, and we'll be on here next Thursday and reflecting and ranting again on, hopefully by that time and everyone's calmed down, we may have you got to go in it. Heart says win, head says maybe not so sure. But
we want your team to win.
Of course you do. Absolutely.
I always try and keep it. I try to keep it as even keeled as I can, to a certain extent, especially with the results side of it more than actually anything else. But you just got to see, is it winnable? Yes. But we have to play well. We have to play really well.
Right.
If we play 50% or half a game, we're going to get battered. It won't even be close. So it all depends how we set up. We've got the team to beat an Atlanta team, but all about scheme, play calling, motivation, everything. It's all part of it. And if they can't do it, I think if they get smoked, as you mentioned before, I think someone's head's got to go.
Yeah, unfortunately, heads have got to roll, haven't they? If we get smoked again.
DDR
That's it then. That's about it for us. Thank you to everyone who put questions in: Podfather, Pete Chilton, Juice, Alicious, Rob Martin, and who else? Also, well, Commander Viscount put a question in as well. Thank you all. You are the lifeblood of this, obviously, of this show. So we really appreciate you doing that for us. We'll be back on the same time in your feed, dropping for probably Friday morning. Have a great weekend. Let's hope we win. If you're going to the Ravens game at London, have a great time as well. No fighting, please. It's been quite sensible, I think. So enjoy it, and we'll catch you next week. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.